Hello and welcome to this first in a series of LOLI Lunch and Learns. We will be covering the LOLI database and each of the icons at the top of this screen here in detail in each Lunch and Learn, beginning with today with the LOLI lists icon. Just briefly, a little bit about LOLI. LOLI is ChemAdvisor's in-house database that was created a long time ago. The information within LOLI is published information. There is nothing proprietary. The information is organized by CAS number, and we have taken this information to make it easily digestible for yourselves. So let's begin. The LOLI lists icon is, like I said, what we will be covering today. You'll see here on the left-hand side of the screen, as of the latest release, there are 5,808 lists within LOLI. Here you see the classic collapsed tree view organized by the list category. So the various list categories here are your advisory agencies, your various countries throughout the world, European legislation, GHS, legislation, government inventory lists, and on down the line. Should you not like this view, you can sort, however, in another fashion. Should you want to search by region, you would just select region here, click go, and all of your advisory agencies have been removed and placed into the regions of the world in which you would want to find them. If you wanted to search by data, you could select the list data type, again, click go, and then you have a different way to view the lists. For this demonstration, we are going to search by the traditional list category 1, which is the classic LOLI view. If you wanted to see all of the lists, you would just need to double click here and a new window will pop up to show you each of the lists in their entirety. On the new window, if you scroll down, you can see all 5,808 lists are available here. There is a way to search for specific information in a list or group of lists to narrow down and not necessarily scroll through each of these lists. So as you can see here, we have our basic search option. If we have already entered our reach, so by clicking search here, this refreshes and gives you a new window that shows there are 68 lists within LOLI that reference reach. Primarily here you're seeing Korea and European Union reach lists. There are advanced search options as well. Picking this drop-down menu, you see that you have the ability to search by list name, either begins with, ends with, or contains. List category begins with, ends with, or contains, or exact match. You have the ability to search by the list abstract, the list document, the list source. I will be covering these and explaining what these are in just a few moments. You can search by the date updated, the date added, and list tags, which is a newer feature. So when I search for lists within LOLI, I like to choose the list document, and I can again explain that to you, what the list document is in a few moments. But say we wanted to search OELs by the list document, you'll find that there are 361 records within LOLI, or 361 lists within LOLI that have information on occupational exposure limits. You can sort this information by clicking on the header here, alphabetically ascending or descending. So if you needed to find OELs in Argentina, this would be one of the ways you can search that information. A lot of people use the data in LOLI to construct safety data sheets. This new feature here, your list tags, is a way to search lists within LOLI that are relevant to safety data sheets. So typing in SDS and selecting SDS relevant, adding it to this particular tag, you can search any lists that have information relevant to creating an SDS. So as you'll see, this produced a search of 2,280 records. Again, sorting this, clicking on the header, you can sort it by alphabetical order, ascending or descending. So let's take a look at a list itself now that we've gone on a few searches here. And we have one more search option that I'm going to come back to in just a moment. So double clicking on this list opens up your list contents. You'll see two windows here. There is your list header information at the top of the screen, your list data information at the bottom of the screen. This blue caret on the right in each of these windows is your friend. By clicking on the blue caret, you can expand or contract the screen. We'll start with the list header information to give you some more information on what you're seeing here. You'll see at the top you have your list category 1, your list category 2, the region of the world which this list is produced, the source language for the list, the date this list was last reviewed, and the date that this list was most recently updated. Your list abstract is a brief description of the list. Your list document is a more detailed explanation of the information in the list. It also shows any other lists within LOLI that are related to this particular information. If you remember a moment ago, when we searched, we used the list document as the parameter for our search. Again, I like to use this because it does contain the most information on a list, so it broadens your search to cover a wider net. We always, when available, provide a link to the source of this particular list. This is an active link, so as long as you are connected to the internet, you can click on this particular list and it will take you to the ACGIH homepage. So if you had to double check or wanted additional information on the ACGIH or the data that you found on this list, you are always able to do so. Again, there is source information, a little bit about the ACGIH. There is review information, so when this list was added and any changes that have been made and when those changes were made. Again, you'll see the tags. So we use the search tag SDS relevant, so that's where we're getting this. There is a window here for the navigator link. Some of you may be familiar with our Navigator product, which is more country-specific information, whereas LOLI is substance-specific. Navigator has country-specific information, and the information within Navigator and LOLI do work well together, but that is a topic for another discussion at another time. So this is, again, is your list header information. You can print this information. You can also export this information. There are 4 different formats to export. There are comma-separated values, rich text format, HTML, and text format. So should you need to print this information or export it for any reason, that is possible. That is your list header information. Now at the bottom, you will see your list data information. Again, clicking on our blue caret here, just expands this screen so we can see better what we are viewing. Now, each list data window will have at least these 3 columns: the CAS number, the chemical name, and the chemical data. Some other lists have an additional column or 2, but at a minimum, you should always see these 3 columns. You'll see that this, again, has your list title and how many records it contains. You can sort these, again, by ascending or descending CAS, chemical name, and chemical data. And going back to the search option here, there are 134 records, and say you needed specific information on benzene, you could go to your list contents search. This was changed recently. Some of you may remember this as search the contents of a specific list. However, that functionality has changed a bit with this new interface option. So by selecting list contents, and we'll just search benzene, and you don't have to even put in the entire name. Again, you're going to select the list that you choose to search, and then of the 3 column headers here, we're going to select chemical name, perform the search on benz, and you will see benzene and any benzene variants or other items that have these 4 BENZ combination of letters. So that's a way to drill down. Some lists have a large number of records. You know, if you're searching an inventory, there are a very large number of results, and so this is a way to drill down on a list content and list data to pull out the information that you would need to see. The next topic we will cover here, just going back to our lists over here. Take, for example, say you wanted to see the biological exposure indices in Argentina. You can click on this information again. Again, you're seeing the whole list header, the list data, but the primary thing that I wanted to show here is your language option. One of the great things that our LOLI team here does is that we have a number of native language speakers on staff, and they have done the legwork to translate the information that you would find. If you were to check the source language here, you would see that this is in Spanish, and you can select that information should you need to. If you don't have somebody on your team that speaks Spanish, that's what LOLI is good for. We can show you both the Spanish language and the English language version and give you an idea of how that information is translated. So that is a brief overview of the LOLI lists. That is the first portion of this Lunch and Learn. The second portion of the Lunch and Learn here is to address any questions that you may have related to this particular icon within LOLI, the functionalities, the information that is available. I hope that you found this first portion useful, and I hope that it has arisen some questions that you are ready to ask now of myself and Jennifer Turner, who is the manager of the LOLI database team. So please go ahead and raise your questions, and we will address them as time allows. Thank you very much for your time, and please check our blog and our website to see when the next LOLI Lunch and Learn will be, which the next topic we'll be covering is the LOLI Find CAS icon, and it will be a similar webinar question answer session as we are doing here today. Thank you for your time.